Welcome to the next in our series of Flash Talks, our Knowledge Mobilization Flash Talks. This is a series that is in partnership with the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction with support from the U.S. Department of Education. My name is Annalee Good, and we are joined today by Dr. Steve Kimball, who is a co-director of the Wisconsin Evaluation Collaborative at UW-Madison and also the director of the Wisconsin-Minnesota Comprehensive Center. And he will be giving a summary of the Wisconsin-Minnesota Comprehensive Center. As many of you know, our format is that we do a quick 5-minute Flash Talk summary around a topic, and then we break out into small group discussions to reflect on a prompt that Dr. Kimball is going to present to us, and then we come back after about 20 minutes to do some larger group conversation. So with that, I want to thank Dr. Kimball for being here and turn it over to him. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Annalee. I have listed here on our presenter slide my colleagues on the Wisconsin-Minnesota Comprehensive Center Region 10 leadership team, and that includes Ernie Morgan, who is Deputy Director. Ernie is on this call. Thank you for joining, Ernie. We also have as our co-directors of the Comprehensive Center, Dr. Alisia Moutry and Dr. Kim Gibbons, who could not be on this call, but are certainly available for any follow-up inquiry. Dr. Moutry tends to focus on work with our Wisconsin colleagues at the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, but also regionally. So she will be on calls with Dr. Gibbons, who is our liaison chief contact with the Minnesota Department of Education. And we often have cross meetings as well. Our comprehensive center is one of 19 federally funded regional comprehensive centers. The comprehensive center program is funded to provide high quality and intensive capacity building services to the state education agencies who are the primary clients, but also with the states to the regional and local levels. And we are somewhat unique among the comprehensive centers in that we are made up of 3 organizations that came together to focus our efforts on the state. We include the Center for Applied Research and Educational Improvement, which is based out of the School of Education at the University of Minnesota. That's where Dr. Gibbons and her team is based. And also the Wisconsin Evaluation Collaborative, which is many of us on the call here, based in the Wisconsin Center for Education Research at UW-Madison in the School of Ed also. And our partners with Education Analytics, which is a private not-profit research and evaluation and technical support organization, also based in Madison. The 3 of our organizations have worked together and have come together to provide the support to our state and regional levels. We have long histories in our region of working at the state, regional, and local level. And we have some unique people on each team that bring different backgrounds, perspectives, and expertise. So we think we're pretty unique and ideally situated, which is probably why we got the contract. We are about halfway through our 2nd year of a 5-year contract, and certainly hope to continue that based on interacting with you all. We derive ideas to support our states, and we depend on that. So I'm glad to leverage this Flash Talk to kind of get some input and information and share a little bit about what we do. So as I said, our overall focus is to support capacity in the state. We do so with the main focus of improving achievement of elementary and secondary students in our region by advancing the use of evidence-based practices. So a pretty broad call, and that can cover a wide variety of topics, and it has. In our 1.5 years, we have worked early on identifying, supporting our state leadership in both states around strategic planning. In Wisconsin, we worked with some of you on the call here, Carl and others, with DPI on an initiative inventory in order to kind of catalog and identify the various initiatives in Wisconsin according to the strategic plan DPI was developing. We've also facilitated both reading groups and a DPI team on developing a guidebook around dyslexia. and focused on a number of different areas in common to each state, but also across states, including diversifying the educator workforce, developing resources and a knowledge base around family, youth, and community engagement, and how that can inform both state agencies. And in Minnesota, starting to develop a statewide multi-tiered system of support, which will be an ongoing project. And then in both states, really turning, obviously, since last March, to focus on supports around learning about what was happening in our states around the pandemic, raising up any kind of resources and lessons related to that, and helping to kind of share information. So we've done some surveys and focus groups and scans of district websites to identify what was happening and what resources are needed. A lot of this information you can learn more about on our website, which is linked below. And I'm going to click on a slide, which will bring you to what you see when you enter in wmcc10.org. We bring you a lovely picture of a river that I'm going to say is the St. Croix River, maybe in the upper reaches, which straddle both of our states. We have lots of lovely pictures, but not just pictures on our website. We have information about what we do, who we are, and resources that we're growing the resource department in terms of some of the topical areas I had just mentioned. We have issue briefs related to diversifying the educator workforce, assessment practices, and other resources are growing and developing. And we turn to you all too for input on that. So this is a good opportunity to hear from you all, to think through what we might do and what we might explore with our states and our region. So that brings us to the point of kicking it off to the group discussion. I thought, and we thought, that these two questions could frame some interesting conversation. Each of us has some experience with this pandemic, obviously, both work related and in our personal lives. So I thought that the group could kind of brainstorm and share either what they've learned personally in their interaction with schools, maybe for their own children, or what they've done in their work. So the two questions are here, and I think we can put those in the chat too, so you have it when you break in your small groups. What promising practices have you heard about that you are aware of that occurred from the pandemic? So again, we hear a lot about the negative side of things, but there were some interesting things that happened. So what did you hear about? What might you want to learn about? And then secondly, since we need to focus our work around evidence-based practices, what are you aware of evidence behind those practices, or what evidence would be needed for us to then promote them as a promising practice? So again, these two questions: what promising school or district practices emerged during the pandemic, and what evidence is needed that would merit promoting those practices beyond the context in which you heard them? So with that, I will turn it over to our next phase. Thank you very much. Please contact us if you have any questions or issues beyond this discussion.